I'm James Helder. Welcome to Full Court Football 24. Quite privileged to be joined by former Bristol City, Reading, Charlton Athletic, Norwich City, Middlesbrough, Swansea City, Birmingham City, Sheffield Wednesday, Brighton Hove Albion, Barnsley, Notts County, AO Chanyao, Yeovil Town, Sisterket, Margate, Haverswell Rovers, Salisbury and Chelmsford City star Leroy Lita. That's some career you've had, lad.
It's all right, mate. Done
Some
all right.
teams in there.
Yeah, done okay, man. Enjoyable.
I want to take it right back to the start of this journey today. You're growing up, your upbringing. I know you was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, so that journey in itself is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, start me off. Where do we begin?
Yeah, I was born in Congo. Came over to England when I was, I think, 5 years old. And, just came over with my family, some of my family and that. Tough times, but, learned a lot and found my way into the game.
What was your early memories of Congo? What do you remember?
I remember our house. I remember we had a dog chained at the back, and I would never go outside. So I was scared of dogs back then, but we had it for security, and things were tough back there at that time.
Tell us about your family dynamic and your family group.
My family group. I got 5 brothers, 1 sister. My mum lives here in London with us. Well, not with us, but she's here in London. And I've got brothers who live in France. He's over here at the moment, I think, but I ain't seen him yet. My sister, she just had another kid, I think. Not 100%, but yeah.
Let's take it back then. So when your family moved over from Congo, what part of London did your family settle in?
I think we was in South first. I think we was in... Where was we? I think we was in Battersea. Moved out. I lived in Hackney as well. I lived in East London as well for a bit. But we mainly was in South London. So, yeah, I learned a lot down here.
Talk to me about your early days of football. When did you sort of initially start playing football, whether that be for a local side or for the school team? How did that involvement in the sport first initially start?
I didn't like football. When I came over, I didn't like football. I never watched football.
Really?
All my family used to watch the World Cup. I remember World Cup '94. It was on the TV every day, and I was like, I just want to watch cartoons at the time or something else. And but when I moved to Margate, lived there for a bit, I went down the park, played with my mates, and then they said, you know what, you should take it serious. You're quite good. I was like, really? It felt easy for me, but I didn't really know the game, so I started to learn it, and then just fell in love with it.
How did that develop? How did you then transcend that into playing for a club or a local side?
When I started playing it with my friends and I was enjoying it, I started watching it and then fell in love with Ian Wright, and I said to myself, I want to grow up and be like him.
It's mad how much of an influence Ian Wright was.
So many people, it's unbelievable. One guy there's so many people, literally everyone that I grew up playing football with or against, Ian Wright was their hero.
He was born in the 80s. There's no doubt Ian Wright would have been a big inspiration on your childhood growing up.
Yeah, definitely. But I didn't start watching until the 90s. So, yeah, he's a big hero of mine and many people.
Talk to me about your first experience playing football or playing competitive football. How did that work for you?
I played for Margate under 11s or something like that. And just all the tournaments and stuff like that, being around the boys, going to different tournaments. I remember the first year we didn't win much or get in the final. I think we got in this couple of semi-finals, and I just started loving it, being in them tournaments, eating a burger at half-time and then things like that. I just loved it. And it's just they're probably when it wasn't your job or nothing like that, it was the best time.
Would you say, compared to some of the other lads, that money was quite hard for your family, or would you say your family was quite well off compared to some of the other boys?
I didn't compare myself. Obviously, we wasn't well off. Don't get it twisted, but yeah, we didn't feel. You did inside. We was eating. We was okay. So we just got on with things, man. That's how it is. How it was for us.
So how long did you play for Margate for then? Talk to me about that.
Even when I was at Chelsea, because I was living down there, I was school down there. I left South London to go to school down there, and so I started playing down there. And while I was at Chelsea, I was playing for Chelsea on I think Saturday, and then play for Margate on a Sunday.
Now, talking about Chelsea, such an interesting point of your career, coming through that youth system, being around them players, being around that squad and the time that for Chelsea was a real transitional moment. The money was coming into the Premier League and into Chelsea. Things seemed to be sort of picking up from all directions.
Yeah, when I was there, I was still a schoolboy. So, and out of my group, I'm the only one who went on to do anything. But I was one of the ones that got released. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was Chelsea. I support Chelsea as well. So I was like buzzing to be there. I used to get 2 days off, 2 days off school a week as well to train with the Verzies and first team. So that was a plus as well. So,
What age would you have been then?
14, 15.
That must have been massive for a 14, 15-year-old to get even a couple of days off to train with the reserves or the
Yeah,
first
I remember
team.
like being in school on a Monday, finishing, getting picked up, and then going to stay in digs for a couple of days. And next day I'm training, and then the session's finished, and I'm doing finishing with Zola and Hasselbank and them boys. And then a couple of days later, I'm back at school telling my mates about it. So
That's incredible.
yeah.
What was it like? What was the interactions like with them first team players? And how did they handle like a kid being sort of involved in their training stuff?
I remember Gus Poyet spoke to us. The rest of them, Zola was all right. Jimmy was just shouting at you. But they didn't really talk to you much. You seen them in the canteen and when you do a little bit of session with them and that's about it. They didn't really like how I was as a pro. When I see young players, I'd always go and talk to them. And but I think it's a different time then, so it's understandable.
Do you think it was the sort of the language barrier as well with some of the players, the cultural differences?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely, because a lot of the players there didn't speak great English. I remember Gustavo Poyet asking me, where can he go and eat in London? I'm like, I'm 15, bro. MacD's, man. KFC, you can go there.
Morley's.
Yeah, trust me, Miss Millie's. Come on, man. And but he was cool, and it's just strange to be there in front of with them guys, man.
Is there any sort of standout moments from that period where you was at Chelsea as a sort of 15, 16-year-old that stand out with you? Any sort of things that you can tell us about?
I'd probably my finishing sessions with 90, Leon. Yeah, the standards we set was even at that age. He's a couple of years older than me, but I was training with them and we was doing a finishing session. I think Lenny Pedri was in goal, and it was the standard was unreal. Just me and him, Jim Duffy, the coach, passing us the ball and just finishing every goal. Every shot was a goal, straight up.
We've had the privilege to have Leon Knight on the channel. His video was brilliant. He spoke very honestly and openly.
Yeah.
What was Leon Knight like at that age? How would you describe him?
Confident, like quality player. Like out of all the youth team, he's probably the best player. And it's just I don't know what happened. Didn't really read into the politics back then, but he was a top player. It's unreal the things he used to do. He's a proper baller.
Do you think he was good enough at that point to get a run in the first team if the opportunity had come up?
Yeah, definitely good enough. He's the best one out of the group, without a doubt. Number one out of all of them. And even JT, I think JT's might be a couple of years older than him as well. But out of everyone in youth team, everyone knew about 90.
You mentioned you was the only one from your sort of youth team at Chelsea that managed to make a professional career from your age group. Excuse me. Who else would have been in and around that group with you at the time?
Well, to be fair, so let's say outfield player. Lenny Pedri had a career as well. So I think we had. They were pushing Danny Jeffries, I think, at the time, and don't get me wrong, his quality I thought was brilliant, but he fell out of love with the game, I heard, and they say that in a group there's only going to be one or two of you, and but in my group at that time, I was one of the ones who got released. The ones that got taken on, not one of them played at any level. So, I think it was a blessing for me because it made me go down to League One and work my way up again.
Before we move to you leaving Chelsea, I just want to talk a little bit about that era and that period.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an era where young players would have cleaned the first team players' boots. Would you have been involved? That was sort of the ending of that?
No, when I went in, I was only two times a week at that time, and I used to clean Marcel Desailly's boots. So
wow, that's a boot.
Yeah.
What was he like with you? What did he say?
Didn't speak, but I was in awe as Marcel Desailly, World Cup winner and everything. So, yeah, he didn't speak much, but he was all right, I thought.
To be at such a young age and to be around players like that,
Yeah.
it must have been really exciting for yourself as a Chelsea fan as well.
Yeah, definitely. But then I had I want to make it as a pro head on as well. Yeah. So when I was there, I was trying to impress, and I was thinking to myself, every time I'm here, just trying to impress and work hard and improve my game and learn from people, and that was my focus. Yeah, it was great to be around them, but I was like, I want to grow up and be one of them as well. So that was it.
What coaches would you say at Chelsea had a big influence on you? Who do you feel that gave you enough time or helped you develop your game?
None of them. Chelsea coach, they didn't. No one took you aside and said you've got potential or anything like that. It was just a group, and the ones that they took aside, the ones that they were pushing didn't make it. So I wouldn't say any of them coaches. I remember seeing Ted Dale after I've played in the Premier League, and I seen him in a hotel in Bristol.
So he would have been one of the coaches.
He was
at the time.
He was youth team director, or whatever you want to call them, and head of academy. I don't know what you call it. And he didn't even really want to say congratulations or anything like that. He was just looking at me because I was one of the ones he let go, and his excuses was poor. He told me I was too small and all this, but one of my strengths was in the air, and they had 90 in the youth team who was smaller than me, so it didn't make no sense.
I want to talk about that moment that you realised you weren't going to be a professional footballer at Chelsea Football Club. Because like anyone, to get that heartbreak and suffer that setback at such a crucial time in your development as a footballer, as a person, how did you initially get that news? How was that delivered to you?
Well, we had training on Thursday night, and we got a call saying they're going to let us know if we're getting a YT. So I was quite confident because I've done well that season as well. Played every game, played the Europe as well, and I was scoring. And I got in on a Thursday night at the training. I think, where did we train? We trained at Canterbury. Ted Dale and someone else, and my coach Mark Weatherly, who was the one who got Chelsea to watch me. So they sat me down and said, "Right, yeah, we're not gonna take you on for YT." I was in shock. Walked out of the room, had a little cry, or whatever, and then I just thought about They told me Fulham wanted to look at me, so and so wanted to look at me, but I didn't want to hear all that. I wanted to grow up and play for Chelsea, but yeah. So I had my little cry, had my little moment. I thought, you know what? Then I got my focus back on.
Talk to me about that next stage, that next step, and how did the potential developments come about?
Well, I went to Fulham the next week, and I had to go on trial for a week, and we played Chelsea.
Fate and irony strikes again.
We played Chelsea in a trialist game.
And would you be playing against your old teammates?
Yeah, all the ones they're taken on in the year above, a year below, if they choose to come up. And we won. No, we drew 2-2, and I scored 2. So it gave me a little buzz. I scored a free kick and an overhead kick. And I remember that game, and I think if Fulham will take me, surely Fulham's only a small club compared to Chelsea. You know that mindset back then. Fulham wasn't that big then. And thought, yeah, they'll take me. But they offered me a YT. They offered me another year of schoolboy forms where you don't get paid. I was like, boy, I've left school now. I need to start earning money and stuff like that. And I went to Gillingham. I said to Fulham, I'm not going to take that. I went to Gillingham on trial. I didn't mind going to League One or League Two, whatever they were at the time. And went down there, played in a game, and they told me, nah, not for us, blah, blah, blah. I was like, flipping hell, what's going on? You know what I mean? I've just come from Chelsea, and now Gillingham don't even want me. So your mind goes kind of, shit, what's going on? And I'm not going to make it, but I sat down. Internet was just coming through there, and so I just went online and that, got all academy numbers and that. I even called Reading at the time, and but Bristol answered and told me to come down the next day. So I got on the train and went down there, played a trialist game, come on at half time. Do you want to go to that bit or yeah?
Yeah, by all means.
I went down to Bristol and played a trialist, come on at half time, score 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and the chairman, the manager, they're all watching, and they said, sign him. And that's how that got popping.
What was in your mindset before that game? Obviously, you mentioned the setbacks, obviously, with Chelsea, Fulham, Gillingham as well.
Yeah. I was working in a petrol station for a bit while I was waiting to get a trial, and I lied to the petrol station, said I was 18, but I wasn't. And I didn't even look 18.
You're
but,
selling people, sitting there selling people petrol, and you're like, you're 17 or whatever.
I was just helping out with stuff in the But I went online, got all the numbers up, and Bristol that answer was that when they answered that call was amazing, and then played that game. My mindset was then I was like, this is it. This is going to be maybe my last chance. So I went Bristol Rovers. Rovers said to me they'll take me, to be fair, but I wanted to try Bristol as well because they're a bigger club. And they said and I never went back from there.
Talk to me about that period of signing for a new club. Did you sign professional terms on them?
No, I signed a YT. They said they offered me 3 years apprentice as per usual for everyone. Only played a year in the youth team though, and then I got in the first team the year after.
Did you play any reserve team football?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, when it was youth team, reserves, first team. So my first year, I didn't play any resis. I just played my youth team, under 17s, every game, top scorer, everything like that. The second year, I came back for pre-season. We was all training together like the under 19s, reserves and first team, doing pre-season together and stuff like that. I was just won everything, every run apart from the bleep test long. I got to about level 12 and then I was like, nah, allow that. I was just focused on just having the best season of my life, and before I knew it, I was getting a call to play for the first team in a pre-season game. And we played Hereford away, and I came on for about 30 minutes, and I scored 2. We won a penalty, and I took it like a 17-year-old kid, and I took it, and the manager loved it. He loved the confidence and the hunger, and I scored another one on my left foot and bent it into the top corner and celebrated in front of the fans because it was the first team friendly, and the fans started singing my name, and the manager put me in a squad for the first game of the season.
You must have been flying high at that point. 17 years old, just made a huge impact with the fans, and said you're getting your team. Yeah,
I was buzzing. I was happy. I was happy that I could see my hard work paying off. So I was thinking, yep, we go again. And it's just one of them things that I hadn't got to where I want to, but so I know the hard work was paying off, so I kept going.
Talk to me about trying to establish yourself in the Bristol City team. How did that work, and how did your mindset allow you to do that at such a young age? Well,
we had Danny Wilson as manager, and he at the time he loved his experienced players. So the young players, you bring you in and out a bit like that. Just I don't know how his mindset. Well, I understand that probably to keep you hungry, or it wouldn't affect me because nothing was going to stop me getting where I wanted to get, and I felt I should have played more. Trying to break through, it was hard because you're getting 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes, and you know he wouldn't play because he's stuck with the same team, and the team was doing well, which is fair enough. So, I just focused on, and the next year, play more games, started my first game in the league for him and that, and, I just kept progressing bit by bit, set myself targets every year, and thankfully I was reaching them.
Would you be working extra hard in the gym at this point?
Yeah.
Was gym work and the focus of training away from the actual scheduled football training a big part?
I feel naturally I'm stronger. At the time, I didn't do gym work. I didn't like any of that. So we had to do a little bit with the youth team, but nothing like what you have to do now. To maintain to. But for me, I like to be natural. That how I was. I like the way I was strong. I was quick. I was good in the air. So I was mobile, agile as well, so I was cool.
How would you describe your time at Bristol City?
Probably most enjoyable. I like living there, and I love playing there as well. So it was a nice place to be, and I had a good group around me, a lot of boys from London that, we spent a lot of time together, and I had a great banter and great times with.
Would there have been a big sort of drinking culture at Bristol at that time? Were the lads a big bonding culture?
Not in the first year. Not till we got to about... I didn't start drinking till I was like 18, 19. So when I first got to the first team, it wasn't that massive, But when we did go out, we went out for a bit, yeah.
Describe like an average night out for
Well,
me.
I remember one time, me and Clayton Fortune, this was like my last year at Bristol. I was injured. I think he was injured. We was out Monday to Monday. We was getting training and that, but we was out Monday to Monday. At that age, you can do it. Though. You wake up, feel like nothing happened. So yeah.
The next season, Bristol City are playing some great football, got themselves in contention for the playoffs as well. Fantastic run. It must have been a huge, huge deal for you to be a part of that run and that team that were producing on the pitch.
Yeah, we went on a 14-game winning streak that year and made it to the playoff final. And all our strikers were injured, and I think I was the only one fully fit. So I was thinking, I was confident I'm in the squad, going to be involved, everything like that. Names got in I think in the final was at Cardiff Millennium Stadium. Got in the change room, and the managers named the team, and I'm not in the 16.
Well, you're not in the squad.
I was not in the squad. Not whatever. How many subs you are? Whatever many subs you are, I was not involved at all. And I've gone to the bath where the baths are, and I just started crying. And in bits, Clayton Fortune's come in and seen me. He's seen upset because everyone's shocked. The whole team's, even the senior players. So we don't know what happened now. I was the only other striker fully fit. And I wasn't in the squad, and I was devastated. Clayton come and give me a hug and said, "Don't worry, man." And you know what we did? We didn't even watch the game. We went in the bar and cracked on. Forgot, he said, forget about it. It's always next year.
Do you reckon that cost Bristol City promotion?
No, I wouldn't say that, but it's just you can't say that. But it didn't help because I think I was in that mindset where I would have made a difference. I know I would have made a difference, but I'm not going to say it cost, but it would have been different. We lost 1-0, and guess who scored the winner? Leon. Penalty. Yeah.
Big moment to take Brighton
No,
up.
I was happy for him because
That was to take Brighton up, wasn't it?
Yeah, to take Brighton up. Yeah, I was happy for him, and good on them. They were top side. So,
how does fate transpire to have two really good friends who've come through a big club's youth system to be playing? Well, to one of them not in the team and
different stories.
And then Leon's then scoring.
That's a beautiful thing about football, isn't it? I don't think you can find that. You can't find that anywhere else in the world. Yeah, so. It's just that's some of the stories and things you hear, all different ones you hear all the time. So it's just a beautiful thing, I think.
Talk to me about what happened after that.
We went back. The manager got sacked on the evening. I think the chairman was disappointed, and then they appointed one of my teammates at the time, Brian Tinian. And the first thing he said to me, "You'll play for me next year." That's what he said to me. He said, "You play every game for me next year." And then before pre-season, I had a meeting with everybody one-on-one. And I sat down and I was like, he believes in me. Like, he's got faith in me. So I said to him, "Can I have the number 8 shirt, please?" He said, "Yeah, you know why I want number 8? Because
right.
Yeah. So I said, "Can I have the number 8? He said, "Yeah, no problem. I saw it." And from then, I played every game.
How would you say you performed for him after that experience?
Well, he knew what I was about. I showed it every day in training. No, nothing against Danny Wilson, but at that time, managers love experience, and it's not. They ain't. I know now it's even different. It's different now as well, but he didn't have any much patience for young lads because there's a lot of good young players in that Bristol youth team. There's Clayton Fortune, Marvin Brown, Sikana Simpson, Liam Rosinia, loads of good players, and he wouldn't push. There was maybe one or two. Danny Coles, I think, was the only one that got in a regular spot, and Matty Hill. So there wasn't too many, and you'll have one or two on a bench and bring you on sometimes. But yeah, it was tough.
It's at this point that you attract the attention of Reading, the scouting team. Steve Coppell came down to watch you. There was a lot of other interest, I'm guessing, from other teams as well, being that you've got that potential to grow and move up the levels.
First, Bristol were trying to make me sign I had a year left. So Bristol knew if I didn't sign a new contract, they had to sell me. And my agent at the time was advising me not to sign a new contract, otherwise they're going to ask for too much money and you won't be able to get out. And I went into a meeting with the chairman and manager. They took me to this hotel and they put a contract on the table for me. Like, I can't remember how much it was, whatever. I was like, the manager was looking at me like, I think they wanted me to jump up at the money because I was a young lad and it's quite a lot of money for a young lad. I just sat there, I was like, yeah, I'll speak to my agent about it, and walked out and went to college. And yeah, that was that. And then, well, you know about ask the question again, sorry.
So you haven't signed the contract.
Yeah.
Steve Coppell, Reading, the scouting team, they're obviously aware of your contract situation as well, which I'm guessing is a big sort of plus point if you're looking to buy a young player coming through. How did that conversation work?
Well, I got a call. I just moved in my flat, bought my first flat in Bristol, just moved in, all happy, thinking, yeah, I got my new place, buzzing. And then get a call from the chairman. All right, Leroy, how you doing, mate? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You chairman? Yeah. I've accepted a fee from Reading from you. I was like, oh, okay. So you can speak to them. Your agent's going to speak to them, blah, blah, blah. This is before my agent told me. So I've rang him. The chairman just rang me and said they've accepted a fee from Reading for me. I was like, all right, let me call him and speak to him and then I'll get back to you. And the next day, I think Reading's chief scout, Brian McDermott, he's come down and picked me up, took me down to Reading Stadium. They had a hotel there, so I stayed there, showed me around, walked past the chairman, didn't even know who I was, what I looked like. And my agent had to say, Sir John Majewski, this is Leroy, by the way. He's like, oh, you. I was like, yeah, you're right. He's with I think it was with Celia Black at the time. She was in there.
Really?
Yeah. They were having lunch or something like that.
That's random.
And yeah, it's nuts. I was just like, then I stayed in a hotel. I had my medical and stuff the next day. Signed my contract. And Brian's taking me back down to Bristol to pick up my bits and bobs. And then got things going and joined up the club and started training. And then we went off to Sweden for pre-season.
Was they in the championship at that point?
In the championship, yeah.
So again, it's another step up for you in your footballing career.
Yeah.
Big club, big fan base. How did you settle in?
Yeah, I got in and got on with the boys straight away. Had a bit of banter, got to know everyone. We went to Sweden for a week, so I got to.
Do you think that helped straight away? You're in a team bonding
away
camp,
yeah.
with the lads.
Yeah, because we have to spend time with each other, so you have to get to know each other. I knew Sonko already. There's Ibrahima Sonko is the only player I think I remember that I knew from there, and he really looked after me and got me settled. And
was he one of the senior players at Reading at that time?
Well, yeah, he's a big voice in the change room and top guy as well, proper nice guy and a top professional as well. So he looked after me. Sweden, got to know the boys, so spent time. We had bonding sessions and that, going out together, and so I got to know the boys, and yeah, that was important. And got the season up and running and scored on my debut, so confidence was high. Didn't score for my first 2-3 pre-season games or something like that, and then their goals just started coming. And the first game in the league on my debut against Plymouth, scored a header. We lost 2-1, so it wasn't a great start in the league, but it was on a personal note. It was good to get off the mark.
What was the first thing Steve Coppell said to you? What was your first impression of him?
I was just in shock because he's the man that brought Ian Wright into the game. I was like, this world's weird, especially this football world. So when we was having dinner with him in the hotel restaurant, I was asking him questions and that about Ian Wright. And he's telling me stories about some of the players he's worked with and stuff like that. So yeah, just giving me a bit of information. He's got a bit of a reputation for getting the ones that, no one will give a chance. So, he's one of the people, even though we had our little moments and that, he's one of the managers that I always respect and a person that I always have love and respect for.
You scored on your debut against Plymouth. Talk to me about the following run of games. Were you in the team then?
I was in the team. Yeah, I was in the team. I think I scored 5 of my first 6 or something like that. But I was carrying, and I had a knock in the first game against Plymouth. Oh, I think it was against Plymouth. I think it was maybe as my celebration, and I hurt myself. Yeah, I was carrying a knock, and then I started feeling it a bit more, and then Then I got injured for a while. I think I was out for 6 weeks, but up until November, I wasn't. I think I missed a lot of games. It was the first time in my career where I was, feeling a bit of I had bone bruising in my left ankle, which is bone bruising. If anyone knows, it can take forever. Luckily for me, my leg broke and it healed nicely.
Lucky for you, your leg broke.
Yeah, because bone bruising is the worst thing.
Really?
It was more pain.
Bone bruising is worse than a leg break?
My bone bruising was more pain than my broken ankle.
Wow.
Because every morning I couldn't. You had to get it you have to mobilize it to get it going, get it warm. I couldn't walk down the stairs in the morning. I was like, so much pain. The break was nowhere near the bone bruising every day, carrying that. As soon as you relax, you settle. As soon as you keep your foot in one place, you got to move it again. It's got to get it going. It was tough. That was more pain than a break.
Would you compare bone bruising to when you bang your shin on something, but it just lasts for ages?
No, it's a constant.
What's the pain of it?
It's a constant pain in your bone. That's it.
It doesn't sound as worse as a break. But,
no, I promise you.
I
promise you. Anyone who knows what I mean, I promise you. The break, when I had the break, they pinned it. They gave me an air cast. Even with the air cast, I was taking it off and moving it. It was fine. I was doing weights, making sure my leg was strong, and so I didn't go skinny. And then the rehab's even longer because you've lost muscle and stuff like that. So within like 6 weeks, I was running again. And it was fine.
Is it worrying when you're a young player and you're injured, or do you sort of think hazard of the job?
You get injured. Players when I had my operation, they told me, it's a clean break. There's no ligament damage, so it should heal fine. You're young, you should be fine. And I had no worries. The surgeon was really good to me and good with me. Like he told me, you have no problem. It should be all fine.
Talk to me about the Reading team that year. Who was the big characters in the dressing room? You mentioned Ibrahima Sonko. Who else would have been sort of commanding that dressing room?
Sidwell was a big character. Harper, massive character. Loud, loved him. He's honest. He said what he thought. He's proper honest. He's there should be more footballers like that in the change room. And I would love to have 20 of them, but you
honest
can't.
In what way? What do you mean?
Just what you see. What you see is what you get. It's not. There's no agenda with him or anything like that. He's honest. He'll tell you if you're not putting it in. He'll tell you himself. And if he thinks something, he'll say it. A lot of people wouldn't. They'd have their thoughts and not talk to you or whatever. So, Dave Kitson, another one. He's another big character. I think everyone was different in their own way, but great. All different characters was good to have in the change room, I thought.
Steve Sidwell again went on to have a tremendous career. Some big clubs, even returning back to Chelsea at some point. Yeah. What was he like to be around day in, day out at Reading?
I didn't really, I spoke to him when we say hello in the morning. It's not someone I sat down and have loads of conversations with. My main guy was Sonko, Ibu. And I lived with him for a bit because I was getting sick in the hotel.
Really?
I was waiting for my house to be ready and stuff like that. So I went and lived with Sonko for a month until my house was ready. So
what was your downtime like with Sonko? How would you guys?
I used to stay upstairs in the room. And Sonko's an amazing cook. He used to cook every day for us, and one of his mates lived with him as well. And one of them was cooking, so the food was always amazing. So one day though, my door was open a little bit. I'm looking downstairs. All I can see is this black ass in it. Sonko, I was thinking, I could hear a chick. And I look down and I see Sonko down there doing his thing. I was like, yo. I was like, I need to get out of this house, man. My house needs to be ready quick.
Sonko sounds like a character.
He's top man.
How would you describe that season in terms of success for Reading?
Well, still the record number of points, isn't it? So you can't fault it. We lost 2 games all season in the championship, which is, I'm not sure that'll be done again because that is tough. We had lost 2 games the whole season out of 46 games. That is some achievement. When you look back at the time, we was just in our zone. We just taking each game as it come, and before the section every month. The manager would bring all the games of that month, and everyone had to write down the results of where we're gonna get points. Blah blah blah. Obviously, nobody put defeats, and literally that's where it was. We didn't have any defeats, and that's the mindset of the group. It was just incredible to get that many people so focused, all different ages, but all hungry to get to the top.
Do you put that season down key to Steve Coppell's man management?
Yeah. The winning. Well, this won't happen anymore because we have different competitions and the players get tired now. Whatever. Yeah, the winning team stayed the same, unless there was injuries or suspensions or anything like that. You come in a team. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. You do well. You stay in. Simple.
That breeds a winning mentality.
What more can you ask for? So I think that everyone knew then. So if I get in, I will stay in. So, and I think it's fair. So there was no bitching about, I have to be in a team, blah blah. Oh, I'm on this money. I'm this experience. Doesn't matter. The team wins. Everyone's available. That team stays the same, which is pretty simple. And it worked perfect. So,
what do you think was a definitive moment where you guys almost knew you were going to win that championship?
I don't know. You can't really ask me because it might be a moment. I was injured. I got injured in March, so I think we got promoted in April.
Yeah, so it'll be the tail end of the season.
So maybe some for me, when we went on that 30-something game unbeaten run, I felt it then. I'm thinking, we're going to do it. And we're so many points ahead, but we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves, and we just kept going and going and going and going. Every week, no one's beating us. So for me, it was probably, from my point of view, it was probably at that time when we went on a 30-something game unbeaten run.
Must have been massive for the club and for the team morale, and you guys are just going home and away, turning people over, scoring big goals in big games.
Mad, it was just crazy. Just I think you just got to give credit to the whole group that we had there. And, them times was proper.
So at this time that you made your breakthrough into the England under-21 setup?
No, I already did that at Bristol.
You already did that at
Bristol?
Bristol?
When I was in League One.
Okay, so you would have got your first chance at Bristol because you weren't. You got to go, and then you were sort of out of the fold for a little while. It seemed that
I was waiting for my passport.
Really, really.
When I made my England on 21 debut, I was still, but it was coming, but I didn't have it on me at the time. And we played when I was the only League One player in the 21s, and that was another important part of my
That's a massive thing.
Yeah, because that gave me a lot of confidence. And Colton Cole at training, he went to me, mate, you don't look out of place one bit.
That's a really nice thing to say.
Yeah, because a lot of the lads did. For Colton to say that, you know what I mean? He's playing Premier League already and stuff like that. And I was still in League One. And he said, you don't look out of place one bit. If anything, you're standing out. And, you know, it's nice to hear. And I was like, because you're looking around and everyone in the squad, in the 21s, are playing Premier League football. And I'm in League One still. So, it's, you know, it gave me a lot of confidence. Peter Taylor, thank you for that, mate. You know what I mean? And, that was a proper big moment for me when I was in that squad, looking around, thinking.
Who else was in that squad the first time you got called up?
David Bentley, Colton Cole, Dean Ashton, Darren Bent. Don't remember defenders. Anton Ferdinand, Justin Hoyt. Who's them? It's hard. John Stead, the strikers. I'm trying to remember the midfielders. I can't remember the midfielders, to be fair. But yeah, if you look at the squad, you'll see. Yeah, there was I don't think there was anyone. All the players were in the Premier League, and I was the only one in the League One, and it gave me a lot of confidence.
You got your debut for the England under-21s. You're then waiting on passport being sent. Is that right?
Nah,
what sort of the ins and outs?
I can't remember exactly what was going on. I had a British travel document.
It's to your birth, switching obviously nationalities to be.
Yeah, but I'll qualify. I've already been in the country 15, 17 years, something like that then. So I was just waiting. I had a British travel document, but I had to wait for my full. So we're just waiting for that. And then when I got that, I got the call up again. So, and that was against Norway when I was at Reading. So
Talk to me about being recalled. Well, you're at Reading. You've got the call saying you're going to be part of the England under-21 setup again. Your form was obviously dictated that you're in the squad.
Yeah, well, I was playing regular for my club, and the players who were in the squad, they weren't regulars in their team, but they were in the Premier League. We're still in the Championship when I got called up, but we're top of the Championship. So I felt like, well, if someone's playing regular, blah, blah, blah. I started getting to that zone, you know what I mean? I need to start playing. I need to be playing. I need to be making my full day. I came on at half-time and all that, done all right. But, yeah, it's just one of them being in the squad. You know where the players from the bigger clubs are going to play. At that time, that's what it was.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it was. The players from the bigger clubs, the players from your Arsenals, your Man Uniteds, Liverpools, whatever, they're going to be starting, or the ones playing regular in their first team in the Premier League.
Do you think their reputation for being at a big club dictated that the manager just played them automatically, or do you think there was
that made a big difference. That made a big difference because you'll have players who are better at smaller clubs. But because they're at Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, wherever, they get the nod ahead of you.
Interesting.
At that time and age, that's what happened.
So the following season, you're a Premier League player. Reading have won promotion, record-breaking season. The club's buzzing, the city's buzzing.
Yeah.
You must have been in a good place at that point.
Yeah, I remember my girlfriend at the time, when the lads got promoted at Leicester, I wasn't there. I was at one of our family's wedding or something like that.
You missed the actual promotion moment.
Yeah, well, I had a broken leg, so I was crutched.
You're injured.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to celebrate or run on the pitch with my crutches. But yeah,
players do, mate. Players do.
Yeah, I think the manager would have been happy with me, even though I took my cast off most of the time. Yeah, we got promoted, and I just sat there. I was like, wow, we're going to be playing in the Premier League next year. And I just sat there and I just took it in. I wasn't even with the lads. I was just like, right, I got to make sure I get myself fully fit, get my leg as strong as possible, get myself firing. And pre-season came and my leg was fine. And first game back, came on in the second half, scored 4 in a pre-season game at Didcot or something like that.
Wow. Bet the manager's thinking, thank God he's
all
back.
right. Yeah,
he's all right.
He's all right. And then, in the first game in the league, in the Premier League, we played Middlesbrough. Just going to the stadium and still ain't got, you know what I mean? Because you're still thinking more. You want more. You want more. You want to do more. You want to do more. I got there. The game was 2-0 down at half time. 2-0 down with about half an hour gone or something, and we brought it back to 2-2. Then I scored the winner in the second half, and I was like, on my Premier League debut, I was like so happy, celebrated. All the boys are buzzing. My people were there watching, and it was just a great day.
Mate, you're one of very few people that have had a very successful Premier League debut.
Yeah,
you've scored the winning goal in a massive match for your team in their first game in the Premier League.
Yeah,
talk to me about that feeling. What that sort of that moment.
At the time, you don't think about it because you're a professional. You want to do more. You want to achieve more stuff like that. But when I look back at it now, it's like, now I appreciate when the fans say, "Oh, that day was so special for us," and that, because obviously they don't get that too often. And now you could take it in and say, you was a part of that.
Having come up with the club and been there at sort of key moments and been at a lot of smaller grounds and seeing the fans travel in, week out, then to be in the Premier League with them, do you think that gives you a stronger affiliation with that fans and that team?
Yeah, the Reading fans were brilliant with me. To be fair, every club I played for, I always had a good relationship with the fans. So apart from when I play against them, they give me abuse. But when I play for them, I was all right. So I know I was doing something right, which is great. I love fans. That's why we play football. And being in the stadium and scoring goals, hearing that noise, that feeling, you can't get that anywhere in the world. So
you scored on your debut, as we mentioned. No doubt there were some players coming in and out over the summer. Who was in that Reading team for the Premier League campaign? Anyone that sort of sticks out, new faces that came in?
We didn't have too many. We didn't have too many.
So the manager kept with what he had.
Yeah, we did. He didn't sign any strikers. He didn't want to upset anyone. did not sign one striker. Signed a couple wingers and a couple defenders and fullbacks. He didn't really upset the squad. He was happy with what he had. Seriously, I'm thinking back, he didn't. I don't remember that summer him any talk of a big striker coming in or anything like that. He's like, nah, I've got my boys. Boom, that's it. I'm sticking with them, which gives you confidence again because you got the manager's backing.
Must lift you up as a player, knowing that he's going to give the players that got the team there a chance in the Premier League.
You will notice a lot of teams who do well, they've kept the majority of the team. So the teams that go up and just buy for the sake of buying, always struggle sometimes. Most of the times they struggle. But I think you keep what you had, a winning mentality, you can't buy that. It has to be built. It has to be within that change room. So if you bring people in who ain't going to fit into that, you're going to have problems.
How would you describe the team's form and the way that the team were playing at that time? New to the Premier League, no doubt a lot of big grounds, big games coming up in the fixture list. How do you think the team handled it?
I think we handled it well. Going to big grounds and playing against big players, big names. We kept the same formation, always 2 strikers up top, and we just played our way. And it worked for us, and we kept it going.
What was it like getting a chance to play at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea?
Special. It was special. It's always nice to go back there, and I've been back a few times, but yeah, it was nice the first time to go back. It's like, yeah, you let me go. I still got to this level and I'm here. So I was like, let's get this going. And the rest of it, we drew 2-2 and I scored one of the goals and celebrated against my own team, which a lot of people can't say. But yeah, when you look back, that's how you see it.
What was going through your mind when you scored that goal?
It's an equaliser, so I was just got my team back in it, helped get my team back in it, and obviously you celebrate. I celebrate anyway. I enjoy it.